Good day, everyone, and I hope you are all safe for today. Thank you for giving me some of your time for this video tutorial. I know that we don't have classes for today, and supposedly you're not doing anything related to school, but here you are watching this video. So I do really appreciate your time and effort for this. So without further ado, let's start our discussion. So for today, we're going to discuss about multiplication and division of integers. So last week, we are already done with the first two operation of integers, which are the addition and subtraction. So now we're going to discuss the last two. Okay, the multiplication and division. So for this two, we're just going to combine the discussion for this two operation because they do have the same rule. So whenever we are multiplying or dividing integers, parehas lang po yung rule that we're going to follow. Okay, so first rule is that whenever we are multiplying or dividing two integers having the same sign, so ibig sabihin, yung dalawang given integer natin, parehas po sila ng sign. Yung isa positive, yung pangalawa positive pa rin. Or yung una negative, yung pangalawa negative pa rin po. Okay, so for that same sign, the product or the quotient will always be positive. Okay, so always remember po that product is the answer for multiplication. Okay, ang tawag po natin sa sagot ng multiplication ay product. While on the other hand, yung quotient naman po ay para sa division. Okay, yung tawag po sa sagot ng division ay quotient. Okay, so again, kapag daw po same sign, ang sagot palagi ay positive. Okay, next rule natin is that whenever we are multiplying or dividing two integers having different signs, so this time, different sign naman po. Ibig sabihin, again, yung first integer natin positive, yung second integer negative. Or, yung first integer yung negative, while on the other hand, the second integer is negative. The second integer is positive. Okay? Basta po kapag different sign yung dalawang integer, ang palaging sagot ay negative. Okay? So, same sign, positive, different sign, negative. So these are the two rules in multiplying or dividing integers. So first, with the multiplication of integers, we're now going to have some of the examples, okay, for this multiplication. But take note that, okay, these three symbols, okay, yung tuldok po, yung multiplication sign or the asterisk, okay, between two mathematical expression will denote multiplication as well. Okay, so sometimes we are also using parentheses rather than the other mentioned symbols. So for example, if you have seen this kind of given problem, ibig sabihin po, ang gagamitin nating operation ay multiplication. Okay? Or on the other hand, kapag ganito naman po, halimbawa, -2, and then you have seen a circle in the middle, and then we have -4, ibig sabihin pa rin po niyan ay multiplication. Okay? So, maaari din naman po ang makita natin ay 2, tapos merong asterisk sa gitna. Tapos, number 4. Ibig sabihin po, ang operation pa rin ay multiplication. Okay, so hindi po natin palaging ginagamit yung x na sign for multiplication. Pwede din pong period, pwede din pong asterisk, or pwede din yung parenthesis lamang. Okay, so please don't be confused with that. Lahat po yun, lahat po ng mga symbol na binanggit natin ay symbol for multiplication. Okay? Please. Multiplication of integers with the same sign. Okay? So, first example natin is just 3 times 2. And then the second example will be negative 5 times negative 4. Is the first one. So 3 times negative 2. So this one is very basic. So as you have noticed, the first integer is positive and the second integer is positive as well. Okay, so parehas lang po silang positive. Sabi sa rule natin, if we are multiplying two integers with the same sign, the answer will always be positive. Okay, so let's take a look with our multiplication table. So sabi daw po, 3 times 2. So 3 times 2 is just the same with 2 times 3, right? So if we're going to look dito sa ating table, ang 3 times 2 po ay equals to 6. So ibig sabihin, ang sagot po natin dito ay 6. So what would be the sign? Okay, so ang sign po, again, will always be positive. Okay, so pwede pong lagyan positive 6 or just the number 6. Kasi sabi ko nga po, kapag yung number walang sign sa tabi, ibig sabihin that one is positive. Automatically, that will be a positive number. Okay? So, I hope nakakasunod po tayo for this one. Example natin would be negative 5 times negative 4. Okay, so this time naman po, okay, we have two negative numbers. Okay, so although they are negative, parehas pa din po ng sign yung dalawa nating integer. Okay, yung una negative, yung pangalawa negative pa rin. Okay, so if we're going to look sa ating multiplication table of 5, okay, so 5 times 4 is equal to 20. Okay, so the answer here will be 20. So the question is, what would be the sign of the product ng negative 5 and negative 4? Okay, always remember that the product will always be positive. Kasi po, yung given natin, same sign po sila. Okay, kapag same sign, the product will always be positive. Or, again, you can just write the number 20 po for this. Okay, so I hope po nasundan natin kung paano po tayo magmamultiply ng integers having the same sign. Okay, the multiplication of integers with different sign. Okay, so this time naman po with different signs. So for the first example, negative 5 times 7 and negative 15 times 3. Single number, we're just going to use the multiplication table. Okay, kasi single number pa naman siya. And I hope that you have already memorized the multiplication table from 1 to 10. Okay, and so we have negative 5 times 7. So here, as you have noticed, the first integer is negative, while the second integer is positive. Okay, so magkaiba po sila ngayon ng sign. So if we're going to look again with the multiplication table of 5, 5 times 7 is equals to 35. Okay, so 5 times 7 is equals to 35. So we can write 35 here. But the question is, what should be the sign of the product? Because again, our given is different sign. What do you think will be the sign of the product? Okay, so the sign of the product will be negative. Okay, always remember that whenever we are multiplying different sign, okay, the product will always be negative. So negative 5 times 7 is equals to negative 35. Okay, have number 2. Okay, so this time the first integer is positive while the second integer is negative. Okay, so different sign pa din sila. So since here, the first given is already 2-digit, we are going to solve it, okay, manually without the use of multiplication table. So we have here 15 times negative 3. Okay, so again, whenever we are multiplying, okay, two digits with one digit, okay, again po, ganito po natin siya i-multiply. Okay, so let's multiply first the first digit. Okay, so what is 5 times 3? Okay, so 5 times 3 is equals to 15. Okay, so 15 po. So 5 will be put here while yung 1 po natin ilalagay natin as remainder sa taas po. Okay, and then next po natin na gagawin is for us to multiply 3 to 1. Okay, 3 to 1 naman po. So 3 times 1 is equals to 3, and then we're going to add, okay, the remainder, which is 1. So 3 plus 1 is equals to 4. Okay, so the answer with negative 15, or sorry, 15 times negative 3 is equals to negative 45. Okay, so again, bakit po siya naging negative? Kasi po, different signs sila. So the answer will always be negative. Okay, so para hindi malito, let's just put negative here as well. Okay po. So I hope nakasunod po tayo sa ating example with same sign and different sign for the multiplication of integers. Okay, madali pa po ang multiplication of integers. And no worries, we're going to use our calculator already for this one. Let's proceed with the second, which is division of integers. So again, same kind of rule for the division of integer. Okay, same sign, the answer will always be positive. Different sign, the answer will always be negative. The example for the same sign. Okay, so first example natin would be 12 divided by 3. And the second example is negative 35 divided by negative 7. So let's have this one. Okay, so like 12 divided by 3. So we're going to use the long division for this one. So again po, let's have a recap for this. So yung first number po natin dito, yung first number po is the dividend. Okay? Ang tawag po sa first number natin, dividend. Okay? And then, the second number is what we call the divisor. Okay? Second number natin si divisor. And then, the answer for the division is what we call the quotient. Okay, quotient ang tawag natin sa sagot po na division. Okay, so now let's solve na po this example. Okay, so whenever we are using the long division, ganito po, naglalagay po tayo ng ganitong sign or ganitong symbol. Always remember that the dividend po yung nasa loob. Okay, dividend po yung nasa loob while yung divisor po natin yung nasa labas. Okay, so now, how many threes are there in 12? Ilang 3 po ang meron tayo sa 12? Okay, so if we're going to have the multiplication table, diba? Ang 3 times 4 is equals to 12. So, ibig sabihin, meron po tayong 4 na 3 para makabuo tayo ng 12. Okay, so 3 divided by 12 is equals to 4. Okay, so after you have the quotient here, you're going to multiply it dito po sa ating divisor. Okay, so what is 4 times 3? Okay, so 4 times 3 is equals to 12. Okay, palitan natin nga ng kulay. Gawin natin yan. Yan. So again, 4 times 3 is equals to 12. So after you multiply the answer or the quotient to the divisor, then here is the answer. You're going to minus the 2 number. Okay, so ima-minus na po natin. So 12 minus 12 is equals to 0. So ibig sabihin, ang ating quotient po ay just the number 4. Okay, so 12 divided by 3 is equals to 4. And again po, dahil sila ay same positive, okay, or same sign, ang answer po natin will always be positive. Okay, so I hope nakasunod po ang lahat for the first example. Next one, we have negative 35 divided by negative 7. Okay, so again, let's try using the long division for this one. So, ulit po, ang dividend po natin yung nasa loob. So, this time, ang dividend natin is negative 35. Okay? And then, divisor natin nasa labas, negative 7. Okay? So, negative 7 divided by negative 35, ilang 7 daw po ang meron sa 35? Okay? So, the answer will be 5. Okay? Now, what is 5 times negative 7? Okay, so this time po, 5 times negative 7. Okay, so 5 times negative 7 is 35 as well. Okay, so 5 times 7 is 35. Then you're going to minus. Okay, this 2 signs. Okay, so we have here negative 35 minus negative 35 is equals to 0. Okay, so ang answer natin dito will be positive 5. Again, bakit po naging positive 5? Kasi same sign po yung ating given. Okay, same sign yung ating given. And so, therefore, ang sagot po ay palaging positive. Okay? We have the example for the different signs. So, I hope it is clear for you po how are we going to divide two numbers with the same signs. Okay, just always remember that the answer will always be positive. Okay, now let's proceed with different signs. So for example natin is negative 15 divided by 3 and 35 divided by negative 5. So for the first example, again, yung dividend po natin, yung first number ay dividend, ilalagay sa loob, negative 15. Ang second number natin ay divisor, ilalagay sa labas. Okay, so ilang 3 po ang meron sa 15? So 3 divided by negative 15 is equals to negative 5. Okay, bakit po negative 5 agad yun? Kasi nga po, we're going to divide two numbers with different signs. So sabi natin, kapag tayo ay nagdi-divide ng may different na sign, the answer will always be negative. Okay, so sulat na po natin agad negative 5. Now, what is negative 5 times 3? Okay, negative 5 times 3, the answer will be negative 15. Again, bakit po naging negative 15? Kasi sabi natin, kapag tayo daw po ay nagmumultiply ng two integer with different sign, the answer will always be negative. Okay, kaya negative 15 po yung ating sagot. So, what is negative 15 minus negative 15? Okay, the answer will be 0. Okay, so ang sagot po natin for our first given is negative 5. Okay, nakuha po. The second example. Okay, so for second example, we have 35 divided by negative 5. Again, different sign sila kasi yung first natin na given ay positive while the second given is negative. Okay, so let's have the long division again. 35 will be put inside and negative 5 will be in the outside. Okay, so ilang 5 daw po ang meron sa 35? Okay, so 5 divided by 35 or negative 5 rather divided by negative 5, 35 is equals to negative 7. Okay, so negative 7 times negative 5 is equals to positive 35. Okay, positive 35 naman po for this. Kasi po, bakit naging positive? Kasi yung pinag-multiply natin na dalawa, same sign sila. Parehas silang negative. So, sabi natin, kapag same sign po yung minumultiply natin, ang sagot palagi ay positive. Okay? Kaya ang naging sagot natin dito ay positive na po. So, we're going to minus the 2, 35 minus 35 is equals to 0. Okay? So, positive 35 divided by negative 5 is equals to negative 7. Okay po. So, I hope the division of integers and multiplication of integers are most clear with you. Okay? Madali lang naman po yung dalawa. Kasi they only have the same rule. Ang rule lang po natin, kapag parehas na sign, the answer will always be positive. Okay? Kapag magkaiba po ng sign yung ating given, the answer will always be negative. Okay? So let's recall about the things that we've discussed. Okay? So again, for addition po, the rules are first, whenever we are adding integers with like sign, okay, we are going to add their absolute value and then just copy the common sign. Okay? So kung yung dalawang given natin ay positive, ang sagot ay positive. Kung dalawang given natin ay negative, ang sagot ay negative. That one is for addition. Okay? Then, whenever we are adding integers with unlike sign, you're going to subtract their absolute value and then just copy the sign of the bigger number. Okay, so kung ang mas malaking value ay positive, ang sagot ay positive. Kung ang mas malaking value ay negative, ang sagot ay negative. Okay, next let's have the subtraction. Okay, so the rules for integers are, first, again, we have the KCC. Keep, change, change. Okay, so what are you going to keep? You need to keep the first integer the same. So, ibig sabihin, hindi po natin binabago yung first integer kapag tayo ay nagsusubtract. Okay? Then, second, we need to change the subtraction sign to addition. And then third, we need to change the sign of the second integer. Okay? Always remember po sa subtraction, ang pinapalitan lang po natin na integer, na sign ng integer ay yung pangalawa. Yung first integer po natin will always be the same. Yung pangalawang integer po yung ating binabago. And then, we just need to follow the rules of subtraction. Okay po. So, kapag parehas po ng sign, you're just going to add them. Kapag magkaiba ng sign, you need to subtract them. And then copy the sign of the bigger number. Okay. And lastly, we have the multiplication and division. Again, whenever we are multiplying or dividing two integers having the same sign, the product or the quotient will always be positive. And whenever we are multiplying or dividing two integers having different sign, the product or the quotient is always negative. Okay, so that ends our discussion for the day. So I hope the discussion for the multiplication and division is already clear with you. And again, thank you so much for watching and listening to this video tutorial.